Well, as we've been reporting this morning, COVID-19 cases are expected to spike here in Gauteng as holiday makers return, and the spike is expected to take place over the next few weeks. Now, lots of people are worried about this surge that's expected in Gauteng. Let's talk to Bruce Melado from the province's COVID-19 Advisory Committee. Bruce, good morning and compliments of the season. Thank you very much for your time. Are you as concerned as we are seemingly hearing that many people are concerned about the expected surge of infections in Gauteng this month?
Thanks for having me, and Happy New Year to you. So indeed, as an advisory committee, we have been raising concerns about the fact that we expect a significant number of people to return from other provinces into Gauteng at a time when these provinces are experiencing a surge in the number of cases. So we've been monitoring carefully numbers pertaining to mobility indexes, which are issued by data providers such as Google or Facebook or Apple, and we have seen that indeed mobility has increased significantly in some of these provinces, meaning that they've received people from Gauteng, which has seen a relative drop in mobility to compensate that, and as a result, they have to come back. So indeed, there is a serious concern that we.
Yeah, what kind of impact is this mobility likely to have on the numbers from a committee's perspective?
Right. So obviously, it's difficult to give an exact number, but of course, our job as modelers is to give you at least an order of magnitude of what to expect. So at the very, very minimum, we expect, going through a number of calculations, that there will be thousands of people with the virus to come back, to trickle back into the province. That's clearly a large number compared to the numbers we have in the province as we speak.
Yeah, I mean, there's no vaccine yet, so the basic COVID-19 protocols are going to have to be observed. We're seeing authorities on the transport side currently with police doing roadblocks, checking compliance with COVID-19 protocols. Would that be kind of a message that you, as the Gauteng COVID-19 Advisory Committee, would want to be spread, that people must really comply with the protocols?
Absolutely. I mean, what we have right now, as you correctly have pointed out, we don't have a vaccine yet. As a result, we're basically dealing with having to comply with non-pharmaceutical interventions as almost our sole tool in order to curb the spread. Now, if you look at the latest numbers from last week, even though it's still a bit early, we're not even a week into the reinstating of level 3, we see that the numbers are not growing as fast as one would have expected had no level 3 been reinstated. So, for instance, right now, as of last night, we have around about less than 35,000 active cases. According to our expectations, had level 3 not been reinstated, we will be at around 50,000 or more. So you clearly see that there's been a slowing down. I mean, we know that the lockdown measures or the reinforcement of the observance of non-pharmaceutical interventions do have a positive impact.
So in your view, level 3 lockdown has worked, including the strengthened restrictions, for instance, the banning of alcohol sales during these 2 weeks until the 14th of January has had an impact in reducing the number of active cases?
Right. So of course, still early to conclude. I mean, we are basically not even a week into level 3. However, the numbers are not growing as fast as if it hadn't been reinstated. And it's not just alcohol. There's a bunch of other measures that have been put in place that have been referred to as the refined or fine-tuned level 3 that indeed make the effectiveness of level 3 higher compared to other versions of level 3 that have been discussed earlier, while maintaining economic activity are there. So clearly the message is, even though obviously we can't conclude yet, still a bit early, we need another week to really ascertain the level of control in light of the fact that now folks are coming back. So that needs to be taken into account. These are two effects that counter each other. But all in all, we don't have any other option but to comply with social distancing measures as stipulated.
Would you, as the Gauteng COVID-19 Advisory Committee, Bruce, recommend an extension of level 3 lockdown that has been, as you said, risk-adjusted with strengthened restrictions?
Right, so it's still too early to conclude. As I said, we need this data from this coming week to ascertain the level of control we have achieved with these numbers. So I don't want to preempt that conversation. At this point, we're not in a position to state should the level 3 be extended for how long. So clearly, the numbers that are coming in, we look at them on a daily basis. We are constantly analyzing and monitoring the situation, not just the number of positive cases, but also mortality, hospitalizations, mobilities, and on other indexes. We're very, very looking at the situation very, very close.
Okay, but the non-pharmaceutical interventions like a risk-adjusted strength in level 3 have slowed down the rate of infections.
It appears so. We have signs in the data that the growth is not as fast. As a matter of fact, if you look, for instance, at the relative increase of how much have the number of active cases or total cases increased with respect to the previous week, we have had the slowest growth in a month. So there are signs. Now, we cannot conclude yet that, we now have, that we have claimed victory or that we can claim victory yet. But the signs are there that indeed the restrictions may have worked.
Thank you very much, Bruce Melado, speaking there on behalf of the Gauteng Premier's COVID-19 Advisory Committee.